So my name is Nicole Stilianu. I'm so excited for today's webinar. For the people who see me for the first time, I am MCTC's nutritionist dietitian, and we're gonna be focused today, as we have said, about protein and how important it is and that it takes part in every cell in our bodies. So the outline will be focused why protein is important, how to choose a healthy protein source, what is lean protein, how we can find it on food labels, how much is enough, what are complete proteins and what are incomplete proteins, what they are considered, what divides them, the amino acids, what are this term, what is it about? You will be able to know which are the essential ones, plant-based proteins, vegetarians and proteins, and what the vegetarians should be aware of deficiencies and what they can combine so they ensure that they are taking the proteins needed for the day and for the to be healthy and not to have deficiencies, and exercise and protein, how to gain muscle mass, how much protein is needed for extra gaining of muscle mass. So by finishing today's webinar, my goal is for you to be able to recognize when you come across the term protein, the whole science around it, because we hear often, we read often, we see in the internet about many nutritional facts about proteins, about carbohydrates. We know where to find them, we know some informations, but the importance is for you to gain the knowledge to understand which of these information are valid, what you are reading is actually true. It's needed to be peer reviewed, to have research around it, but also knowing the science that involves each macronutrient will be able for us to easier choose healthier eating habits and having a healthier lifestyle overall. So as you can see, protein is a large complex molecule and is critical for life. And they are required for structure, for function, for regulation of body's tissue and organs. So it's present in almost everything happening in our system without us even noticing it. So it's important for creating DNA, responding to stimuli and information in the organism, like a neurotransmitter. It provides structures to cells and organisms to create new cells in the organism, to transport molecules from one location to another. We are going to talk about this, how it happens, to work as an enzyme, so it breaks down substances, it speeds up the metabolism, it creates hormones because some hormones are actually proteins. It regulates the fluid balance in the organism to be hydrolyzed correctly and to have as a good circulation. It builds material like collagen, skin cells, nails, and teeth. It also regulates the acid-base regulation. This happening in our stomach. We are going to speak about that too in the digestive system, and is responsible for antibodies. So it has 1,000 roles. That's why it's so important. So it's the main building block of the body. It's responsible also for our bone structure, for growing up. So the muscles depend on it, the tendons, the organs around, they have muscles to protect them, the skin, which also our aging process, the enzyme, the hormone, the neurotransmitters. It's fascinating how they are taking part in every action in the system, or the body system. So proteins consist of smaller molecules. They called amino acids. And these amino acids, they link together in long chains and create proteins. Some people are in higher need for proteins depending on their activity level, their job, their style of job, their temperature, their working environment. They might need extra protein. The endurance athletes, and here are also some people that they might not be endurance athletes, but they are exercising regularly 5 times per week, 4 times, 6 times per week. So they might need additional protein depending on the exercise they are following, and during pregnancy. And for sure, children while growing up. So the chemistry behind protein is that we have the cells that link these amino acids together. Many amino acids are linked and they create a sequence. So they create different types of protein. Different amino acids create other proteins, and other amino acids create other proteins. So these amino acids are connected by these peptide bonds. So from now on, you will know when you read something, the peptide bonds are the ones that they link these amino acids together, that we are going to explain and talk about the amino acids, their names, so you get a little bit familiar of the names of the amino acids and what each amino acid is responsible of. So their unique shape of protein enables them to perform various tasks. So some they store materials, some like tenos, they make rod-like structures, some others they work with others and they make many peptide bonds, so they create bigger proteins in the body. So in order for them to be activated, some they need also minerals. So as you can see, this is important because you know that through eating only proteins won't be healthy if you don't combine it with minerals, vitamins, other micronutrients like carbohydrates. So this is going to be also explained and hopefully will be much more clear to you how to combine each nutrient with each other. So hemoglobin is a large globular protein. So everybody knows about hemoglobin. It's the one that carries, it packs the red blood cells and carries the oxygen around the body. Without it, we cannot survive. So hemoglobin is a big protein. So a person that lacks adequate amount of protein might have lower carry of oxygen in the body. So this is very important. This is an example of many peptide bonds. So many amino acids, they create the hemoglobin. Some other ones are the antibodies, as we have said. So an example is immunoglobulin, that it works as an antibody, it fights the viruses, the bacteria, it protects the body. Some others like phenylalanine, which is an amino acid, and hydroxylase, which is a process of oxidation. And in simple words, this is like the enzymes are present in chemical reactions. So we need the proteins for these chemical reactions to happen. The messenger that we have said that sends the signals and coordinates biological processes and to the different types of tissues and organs. It transports and storage, like ferritin, that storages iron. So we have this oxygen and this energy in our organism going on and not having anemia. And as a structural component that helps the body to move, the structure of the cell, it also helps for the instant and movements, or if you are exercising, for example. So the digestion and absorption of protein is important too, because protein from food, when we eat protein, it doesn't become protein in the body directly. It needs first to be broken down into amino acids to create their own protein after. So that's why it's important to have this balanced nutritional lifestyle, which I'm going to be repeating. So it's more efficient to ensure that you are having a balanced nutritional meal through the week. So when we eat protein, the body breaks these peptide bonds to these amino acids to form these new proteins in the body, and the proteins we have discussed to go in different areas. So you see, we are like a perfect machine. Without us even noticing it, the body has its own roles, and each one of the proteins and the enzymes and all these taking their own responsibility, like a huge mechanism. So the real digestion of protein starts in the stomach, because we have many acids. They break down this protein, and the enzymes that activates them, they send in different areas. And then in the small intestines, the pancreatic and intestinal enzymes, they hydrolyze even further this peptide bond, so they take it and move it to the areas needed in the body. So this distribution of amino acids is happening through the digestive system. So sometimes protein can be used to create glucose. This is not the correct way to have energy. Some people, they decide to go on low carbohydrate diets and they get energy from protein. This can happen because protein will be sacrificed to provide energy by using amino acids if needed, because without energy the cells die, one cannot survive. The nervous system shuts down, but this is important to note that the correct and the healthy way to get energy is through carbohydrates, because we have the fiber needed also for the digestive system to work correctly. So if a person avoids to eat carbohydrates, this will make the amino acids to form the glucose, and during that time the glucose eventually might be disposed and utilized. It won't be used correctly because it will need higher need for creating it, because it's not the correct way to create the energy. So the risk of using protein for energy for long period of times might be that it might cause chronic use of protein, might cause cardiovascular disease, blood vessel disorders, and kidney injuries, because proteins are very complex molecules, as we have described, and the body needs longer time for them to break them down. The lack of fiber might cause the headaches, constipation, might be the source of other metabolic diseases. And there is a risk of increasing your saturated fat, therefore the risk for heart disease. And this is proven through statistics, through research happening to people who were following for prolonged periods of time low carbohydrate diet and increased protein diet. So what we suggest is to have balanced intake of both. So let's talk about how we can get enough protein and have a balanced nutritional weekly menu. So the complete proteins and the incomplete proteins are defined by what the ones they have the 9 essential amino acids, that means the body cannot produce, and the incomplete, it contains some but not all of the essential amino acids. So the incomplete proteins, they need to be combined with other proteins, so you ensure you are taking the 9 essential amino acids. What are the essential amino acids? We are going to explain them in a few slides from now, but just for a small brief information is that these 9 essential amino acids can be taken only from food. So the body does not, it cannot create them, it cannot develop them. So we need to intake them through food. Without having balanced meals, we will not take these 9 essential amino acids. So these are some of the incomplete, and some might be there. Most of them, as you can see, are plant-based proteins, but some might be complete. We are going to make it more clear in few slides. So the complete proteins involve the animal protein like beef, poultry, fish, eggs, dairy products, soy, tofu, and edamame. Edamame is plant-based protein, but is considered to be complete because it has the 9 essential amino acids. Incomplete protein is nuts, seeds, beans, legumes, and whole grains, and these ones need to be combined with each other to ensure you are taking the 9 essential amino acids. So if you are a vegetarian, which we are going to explain as we go through. So the essential amino acids are the body produces some of these amino acids, and some other amino acids must be taken through diet, as we have said. So many lean meats and dairy products, they contain the essential ones, and the plant-based, they lack of some of the essential. So what is the role of these amino acids? It's very important. It's important because you will see that they break down food, they help in grow and repair of body tissue, They make the hormones as they are created in proteins. They provide the energy if needed. They maintain healthy skin and hair and nails. They build the muscle. They boost the immune system, and they sustain a normal digestive system. So the 9 essential amino acids are the histidine, isoleucine, leucine, lysine, methionine, and then is phenylalanine, threonine, tryptophan, and valine. So if you would like to have a pencil and write them down, this might be interesting for you in the future. So I came back a slide back so I can explain that if you see here, they help in brain chemicals and immune function, while other amino acid, it helps in muscle metabolism and immune function as well. It regulates the energy, it produces hemoglobin. And then leucine, it helps the body to make protein and growth hormones and repair the muscle tissue of the heal wounds. If you have bleeding, to ensure that you heal faster. It regulates the blood sugar levels as well. So as you can see, one of the amino acids works for something else. Combination of two ensures that it's doing something else in the organism. And then to move forward, phenylalanine, which is very important, is also a production of brain chemicals and messengers like dopamine, epinephrine, and norepinephrine. They are hormones that make you feel happy, make you be alert, be able to handle stress and difficult situations. And threonine is important for collagen and elastin to decrease the aging process. Tryptophan is very important for the nitrogen balance, for serotonin creation, which is the happy hormone, for balancing appetite and sleep. The reason why I'm taking a moment to explain what each one does, it's because lack of or deficiency of some of these amino acids might cause other health issues. And for sure, they need the nutrients like the minerals we have said to enhance them, to combine with them and function better. So we have also other 11 amino acids that they are not an essential. This means that the organism can create them by itself if you are having this balanced lifestyle of meals as we have discussed. But when you are ill, stressed, or in constant stress, you might lack of these 11, the rest of the 11. So to ensure them is just to combine your proteins, as we have said. I come across very often to the question of taking protein supplements at the gym or amino acid supplements. So amino acid supplements can be harmful. It is not suggested to take them as a supplement because the body is not designed to handle high concentrations of amino acids found in supplements. It is designed to find the amino acids through the breakdown of protein we are eating through food. The excess amount creates huge demand. So it creates a demand to break this, to create more protein and where to take this protein in the organism. So it might lead to other deficiencies. And the ones they are winning the competition, meaning the amino acids win the competition when they enter the body, they might cause toxicity, which is very, very harmful for and dangerous for our health. So a good way to get and ensure the adequate amount of essential amino acids is through taking lean protein. And what we mean by lean protein is the sources that are low in fat and cholesterol. So some examples are skinless chicken, egg whites, lean cuts of beef, if it's an animal type of protein. So you can read on food labels on the next time you are purchasing or you are on board a vessel, you can check on the food labels that 100 servings contain less than 10 grams of fat, 4.5 grams or less of saturated fat, and less than 95 milligrams of cholesterol. And the extra lean, it means that on 100 grams serving contains less than 5 grams of fat and less than 2 grams of saturated fat. So these are some healthy proteins. So you see some are complete, some are incomplete, so you can combine them. Legumes are plant-based protein. They are very high in fiber. A cup serving of black beans can provide 15.2 grams of protein and 15 grams of fiber, which this is very healthy. We have the fatty fish that is very good source of collagen and other nutrients. So 100 grams of salmon with skinny provides 60 grams of protein. The sardines are also high. You can see yogurt, the whole eggs that also give zinc, B12, choline, selenium, and iron. So as you can see, these products, they give also the other nutrients that we were discussing. And nuts also are a good source of protein if you combine it with other source. Some additional ones are seeds like pumpkin seeds, hemp seeds, and that are rich in protein. Chicken and turkey. The protein powder here, the reason I have it is for people who are on the need of taking extra protein and might be very difficult through food. But again, this must be regulated by a specialist. Don't take over-the-counter protein that promise miracles. This might be also dangerous. The cottage cheese and edamame, as we have said, that is considered as a complete protein. So these are just, I broke them down for examples to see which types of food they have the highest one, let's say for fish or for poultry, wheat also, and other items. So the amount of protein a person needs always, as you remember, let's take a moment and remember that it's based on activity level, the age, the muscle mass, and overall the health of each individual. So if you have a chronic illness, might need more or less. If you have kidney disorders, you might need less or some types of protein. So that's why the dietitian needs to know the health issue to suggest for each individual their daily nutritional program. The doctor also be aware of the medicine taken. So it's a huge group of people that it's needed to suggest a specialized nutritional plan for each individual. However, these are general information that are very important. So you need to consume less calories if you want to lose weight, to burn more calories if you want to lose weight. So eating protein increases the number of calories burned by boosting the metabolic rate, calories expenditure, and reducing the appetite, calories consumption. So through having protein, if you are following a losing weight program, will help you to feel more complete, fulfilled, not to feel hungry, but to combine it with carbohydrates and other nutrients, as well as some types of fat, the unsaturated ones that they are healthy. So how can protein help gain muscle mass? The muscle mass can be gained through synthesize more muscle protein than you break down. So you are going to the gym, you are intaking protein, but if you are just eating, let's say 2 examples, if you are only exercising and not taking extra protein, you will not gain these huge muscle mass as you are wishing. If you are only taking protein more than the recommended one and not exercising, again, you will not gain the muscle mass needed. It needs to be a combination. So the people that want to build muscle increase their protein, but increase their exercise too. The protein intake is about 1.6 grams per kilogram of body per day. Is adequate to ensure the support to the muscle building to improve the performance. For weightlifting sessions, you need to consume small amounts of protein before or during training because it helps the muscle building. So an average adult that is not exercising, has a sedentary lifestyle, and it's approximately 0.75 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. So for men is 55 and for women is 45. This is for an average person, 0.75. So this is about 2 portions of meat, fish, nuts, beans, tofu per day. So it's approximately a person's palm. A person's palm, two portions of that is around the portions they need for the day. So for extra protein is useful after long and intense exercise. So if you are exercising for more than 90 minutes per day, it will be good to take extra protein through food. So this will speed up muscle repair and glycogen replacement, leading to faster recovery of the muscles if you are exercising. So a combination of the protein and the carbohydrates will help in this repair of glycogen, and the feeling of burning the muscle will, when you are exercising intensively, you feel the muscles that burn a little, they get exhausted. So if you have adequate amounts of meals before or sometimes after, it will help and speed up this feeling to not to have it as soon as you start getting tired, let's say. So it gives you more strength. Take it at the right time, right amount, together as with carbohydrates. So the rate of recovery and muscle synthesis are increased if amino acids and carbohydrates are consumed together. I want to emphasize this. Immediately after exercise and training, because the reason I am emphasizing it's because many people are not taking into consideration the balance between these two. So increase exercise, increasing dietary protein requirements. Yes, if you are exercising increasingly, then you need extra protein requirements. But it does not mean only to take protein products, like meat products. It needs to combine the plant-based also to ensure you are taking the fiber we have said and the low-fat concentration of in the protein. So active people that exercise for about 1 to 2 hours should consume 1.2 to 1.3 grams of protein per kilogram. So we said before, more than 90 increases the need. So here it's the amount of grams if it's 1 to 2 hours of exercise. It's also important to know the intensity and type of exercise. You are weightlifting exercise person, you are bicycle person, you are on a boat, on a vessel, and you are having a more stable exercise, more on the floor without weights exercise. You might need different type of protein intake, the amount of it, but pretty much if it's 1 to 2 hours, you need to consider that. The timing of protein eating is also important during immediately after exercise. So the research has shown that the protein stimulates muscle protein synthesis after exercise rather than before for the repair that we have discussed. However, to get the correct information out, there are risks and symptoms if you are taking excess protein and you are not exercising enough, or if you are following high protein intake without the balanced meals that we have said. So if a person consumes more than 2 grams per kilogram of body weight, might have several risk factors. And the reason I am mentioning this is because I have come across people that they consume more than 2 grams per kilogram. It depends on the time frame they are using it, for how long periods of time, but you need to be aware of the kidney function, because it might lead to dysfunction of them, because kidneys are working as the filters of the body, also so as well the liver. So it's very important. Too much protein might affect the kidneys, might cause unwanted weight gain if taking too much. And also this is important for people who are exercising in small periods of time, and then they stop the exercise and they continue with the high intake of protein. The azotemia is a kidneys that are damaged, not able to get rid of extra nitrogen waste. This is part of the kidney dysfunction, the increased risk of osteoporosis, dehydration, fatigue, and nausea. So, some information to help you ensure you are taking the correct, eat a snack or meal with protein and carbohydrates after exercise. This will ensure you that you are giving the body to replenish itself. So a small snack will help you to cool off, relax a bit, and have your main meal later on. Because if you avoid the snack, then you go straight to your main meal and you consume high amounts, and then you might affect your stomach. So a snack might be involved with some yogurt and seeds or nuts, or maybe banana with some fruits, dry fruits or fresh fruits, together with yogurt. Depending again, if you have gastrointestinal problems, you might be suggested to avoid the yogurt. So maybe choose bread with avocado or a slice of low-fat cheese, depending on the situation of each person. So going even a day without enough energy can negatively impact your hormones and hydration. So plan your meals and snacks around the training schedules. So the people who are on board the vessel, thankfully, they have their weekly menus designed to ensure balanced meals through the week. So try to stick close to these weekly meals, because they are very, very beneficial for your overall health, and they will ensure that you are well nourished, and it keeps your muscles strong and with enough fuel. So to avoid the athlete triad, you don't need to be athlete to have athlete triad. If you are exercising regularly, you need to be aware that this occurs systematically if you are under-fueled for the amount of exercise. So if you have imbalance between nutrition and exercise, it might affect your hormones, and you might have some of the things mentioned below. If you are a female, irregular periods, if you are a male, you might have some problems with low libido, low energy. So it's important to ensure that you are intaking the balance, as we have said. You might have risk of injuries and fractures and weak bones. So let's take a moment to talk about hydration, because we are talking about exercise, we are talking about muscle gain, but if you are not hydrating enough, this might be a problem. So staying hydrated is important, because you need to be hydrated even before you exercise. During your sessions, you need to take 4 to 8 ounces of fluid every 15 to 20 minutes of exercise. So this depends also on how hard you are working and how much you are sweating, and the climate and the temperature in the country you are exercising. So be aware of that too, because we have nutrients transported in the body through the water we are intaking, and also you might need some extra electrolytes if you are sweating too much, and know that the best way to be hydrated is water. So it's important to mention about vegetarians, because we have many people that choose to be vegetarians. So if you are a vegetarian, you need to be aware of the proteins you are taking. So we have some types of vegetarians. Just a small introduction to them. We have the vegetarians that they don't eat meat. We have some that are veganism, that is the most strict one. They don't eat meat, dairy, eggs, honey, gelatin, and whey. The raw vegetarians that they don't eat cooking foods, so everything raw, they consume all raw and fresh. The ovo that they don't eat meat and poultry and seafood, but they eat eggs. The lacto ones that they eat the dairy products, but they don't eat the eggs, the meat, the poultry, the seafoods, and the lacto-ovum, which is a combination. And then we have the pescatarianism, which do not eat meat, but they eat fish, seafood, and eggs. And the flexitarianism is a new term. It's people who eat occasionally meat. So the best option if you are a vegetarian is to focus on variety of high protein foods like vegetables, beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole grains, and soy products. So try to include some of these in your meals. For a salad, maybe chickpeas or beans or whatever is available at the vessel or at home. You might choose vegetarian burgers or eggs and tomato wraps, tomato and lentil soup, spinach and chickpeas with curry and rice. So if you are combining the plant-based proteins, you are ensuring that you are taking enough. So these are some proteins for vegetarians. As you can see, many of them: soy, Ezekiel bread, green peas, nuts, asparagus, artichokes, potatoes, sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts. So there are many options if you would like to take a note on them. Also, we are going to have available the presentation after we finish. Very soon we will try to upload it in our YouTube channel and also to provide it to anybody needed. So vegetarians, sometimes they might have low levels of vitamin D and calcium. So through consuming the following products, you're assuring that you might not have deficiencies. So these might be the mushroom, the egg yolks, the fortified juices. They have extra vitamin D inside, like oranges, also soy products. Some are mentioned also in our previous slides, but the reason we have them repeated here is because you know here that they have vitamin D, they have calcium. And also other deficiencies in vegetarians are B12 vitamin, which is very important. So through consuming some of the products mentioned here, like the mushroom, the soy products, milk, in case you are consuming milk, or the fortified cereals, will help you to ensure B12, adequate amount of B12. Calcium, if you are not taking regular milk, you can consume soy milk, tofu, broccoli, beans. Then the iron levels, like lentils, pumpkin seeds, leafy green tofu. So a combination of all these amazing products will ensure you to avoid the deficiency. And zinc. So that's another very important mineral for your immune system. So it's vitamin B12, calcium, iron, and zinc. Some additional information on how to increase protein naturally in your daily nutrition are through the content, maybe using wheat flour, can be up to 15%. Some alternative flours might be soy flour, legume flour, chickpea flour, pea flour. The high protein of wheat flour is also labeled as high protein flour. These are for people who are exercising and they need to create their own products, especially on a vessel. That might be easier to find these types of flour instead of increasing we don't suggest the supplementation. So 362 calories per 100 grams and 50 grams of protein on wheat flour. They have also 50 grams of carbohydrates. It is not a complete protein because it lacks some of the essential amino acids, the wheat flour. So you combine it with other protein sources. Add yogurt, soy milk, nuts, and seeds to your cereals. So you increase your protein intake. You can exchange regular sandwiches with tuna sandwich, bean burger, hummus, or eggs. You can use beans and cream cheese eggs or peanut butter on a toast to increase your protein on a healthier way. You can add beans and eggs, nuts, chicken, turkey into your pasta, salads, or soups. These are some ideas of increasing your protein healthy. The protein we said if you are exercising and all this. Another type of flour is soy flour. I'm just mentioning them for you to know them, be aware of them, even though might be difficult to find all of them. And also this is based on the preferences and the taste of each person. Soy flour does not contain gluten. So if you have celiac disease, or if you are facing some issues with your gastrointestinal problem, might be some type of solution. But one cup provides 100 grams, and it has 329 calories and 1 gram of fat. So it's low in fat, and it's high also in carbohydrates and protein. It can be used to replace the wheat flour. However, it will change the texture and appearance of the final product. So if you know this from before, your final product might have a slightly different appearance and texture. This is a complete protein because it contains the 9 essential amino acids, and it also provides isoflavonoids that are highly beneficial for the organism, especially the heart. They kill the free radicals, they are decreasing the aging process and all this. The chickpea flour is another type of, might be called also garbanzo flour, which is also gluten-free. It's also high in protein, but this is not considered as a complete protein. So you need to combine it with other protein. So you can create your own flour by in the mixer. If you have the item, you can create your own flour. So quinoa is another option. Back with protein is also another option, which is very healthy, has high amount of fiber also. And you can mix it together with wheat flour for making pancakes. So moving towards the end, some of the conclusions is important to maintain balanced nutrition. In some of our previous webinars, we mentioned about carbohydrates on themselves. So we spoke about them. Today we were focused on proteins. Other times we were focused on saturated and unsaturated fat. So we try to get each nutrient and explain them a bit in detail, so you know their importance and what to be aware of and what to be actually to feel more confident when consuming them in the right amount. So anything we eat or drink has a different job in our organism. Our organism is a perfect machine. It is really from our brain that sends the signals. And as we have said in previous webinars and in our conference, we discussed that most of the food we are intaking is taken on by our brain first to start sending the signals. So this is how important and how amazing is our organism. We need to take care of it and use it wisely and not take anything for granted. So don't follow strict diets, don't follow strict information you find online to gain muscle and just look on your appearance. Focus on the overall health and how you can gain it in a more natural way. So adequate protein eating can provide the following benefits: fast recovery after exercise and injury, reducing muscle loss, building lean muscle, helping maintain healthy weight, restrain hunger, and then they will work as building blocks, as we said in the beginning, of the bones, the muscle, the cartilage, the skin, the hair, the nails, the repair, the oxygenation of red blood cells. We have said in the beginning for the oxygen that is carried out in our organism, the digestion process, and to regulate our hormones, which are very important to be balanced for us to be able to handle our stressful situation, our daily lifestyles, and maintain a healthy lifestyle overall. So thank you very much for being with me for this interesting topic. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more happy to answer them. also, if you feel that you have remember something when we finish the webinar, again, you can find us and contact us by our email, and we will be more happy to provide you for any information, even on a personal level, you might need. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to see if somebody needs to make a question, and I will end this seminar very soon. So. So yes, I have a question about the Mediterranean diet. Yes, it is proven worldwide that Mediterranean diet is one of the healthiest options because it combines healthy fats, enough amount of carbohydrates, good sources of protein, less intake of saturated fat, high intake of omega-3, omega-6, omega-9 fatty acids. So it's very beneficial. So, however, depending on the country we are living, we might lack of some of the items mentioned in the Mediterranean diet, but if we can try to follow it as much as we can, it's very beneficial. So yes, it's very, very, very good and ensuring a balanced lifestyle. Thank you also so much. So I hope I cover and I provided you some information that you will use in the near future or in the future. And I will be delighted to, if you would like to contact me for any other information to provide to them. So thank you very much. So thank you very much. I will close the meeting and you can keep in touch with me if needed. Thank you so much. Bye.